Hello, everybody, and welcome into my PM edition of Crushing Fantasy Football. I am Bryce Lockridge, your host of the show. Guys, today I'm super pumped up because I just got done watching football, and we're only a few days away from Sunday, so we have all that fantasy goodness in front of us in just a few days. Guys, today, this Houston Texans-Carolina Panthers game, I want to just go over a little bit of a recap of the game because there was a lot of fantasy-relevant activity that happened in the game, and I'm going to get right into all of that. But if you haven't already, guys, hit the subscribe button below. Give me a thumbs up. That's going to help me grow my channel. I do appreciate it very much, guys. All right, I'm going to get right into the most important thing that happened in the game, and that is the Christian McCaffrey injury. This is very unfortunate for Christian McCaffrey owners, but hopefully you drafted well and you have some depth at your running back position and you at least have a competent running back to replace him with until he comes back. If you don't, definitely look to pick up Chuba Hubbard off the waiver wire, guys. This is going to be the number one pick on the waiver wire this week. I know the Sunday games haven't happened yet, so that's a pretty bold statement to make considering there's a lot of things that can happen between now and the next time you scoop someone up off the waiver wire. But Chuba Hubbard is going to be a very competent replacement for Christian McCaffrey. This is a pass-first offense now, so I'm not saying he's going to get anywhere near the touches that Christian McCaffrey did, but he is a talented running back who's going to get volume in both the rushing and the passing game. So you want to scoop up Chuba Hubbard if you can. The only unfortunate thing is you probably have to have an early pick in your waiver wires in order to get Chuba Hubbard. If you can't, like I said, hopefully you drafted for depth at the running back position and you have a competent running back to replace him with. Otherwise, you might need to look to trade for a running back or pick up another running back off of the waiver wire, okay? But you need to do some work, do some research, and figure out who to replace Christian McCaffrey with. Best case scenario, you scoop up Chuba Hubbard, but that's only going to be in a few scenarios. Most likely, you're going to have to replace him with somebody else. Okay, so what this means going forward is that the Carolina Panthers are going to be a very much a pass-first offense. It's a complete 180-degree turnaround from the offense that they were before. What this means is that Sam Darnold and DJ Moore's fantasy stock are about to fly through the roof. DJ Moore he's a target hog this year, guys. There was fear coming into the season that Robbie Anderson was going to take a lot of his targets. This is clearly not going to happen. DJ Moore is clearly the number one on the team as far as targets are concerned, and they target him downfield as well. They don't just use him to get first downs. They're not afraid to chuck the ball downfield 50 yards for a big DJ Moore play like they do with Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson's boom or bust, guys. Most of the time he's going to bust. He might not even be a number two on this team. It seemed like Darnold liked Terrence Marshall a little bit, so I think Robbie Anderson's going to be on your bench going forward, but DJ Moore is a very relevant fantasy asset while Christian McCaffrey is out. He was already trending upwards, and look, now that Christian McCaffrey is out, DJ Moore's the number one weapon on the offense. He needs to be in your wide receiver one spot. He's one of the best wide receivers in fantasy at this point. And even when Christian McCaffrey comes back, he's still going to be a very good fantasy wide receiver. But while McCaffrey's out, he will be one of the best wide receivers in fantasy, probably in the top five. He definitely has a good connection with Darnold, too. So that's a good sign that Darnold is starting to look like a competent NFL quarterback. A lot of people in the season actually had Sam Darnold rated as the worst quarterback in football, which is an absolute joke. They were judging him by how well he played with the Jets when he had absolutely no weapons around him, the worst offensive line, terrible coaching. Now he's on a team with competent coaching. The offensive line still needs some work, but he actually has weapons to throw the ball to in Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Terrence Marshall, etc. He had Christian McCaffrey to help him out, but now he has a very relevant and competent backup running back in Chuba Hubbard to help him move the ball down the field. Sam Darnold's fantasy stock should fly through the roof because now this is a pass-first offense. He's going to put up a lot of points, and we also saw that he could rush the ball a little bit. So pick up Sam Darnold off the waiver wires if you can. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the Panthers side of the ball. The main point I wanted to hammer home is that, you need to pick up Chuba Hubbard, pick up Sam Darnold if you can, and Robbie Anderson is an absolute bust that needs to be on your bench going forward. Okay, on the other side of the football, the Houston Texans, guys, Davis Mills looked pretty darn good. That Carolina Panthers pass rush was getting after him big time, as we expected them to do. The dude got hit 9 times. He took some massive blows, got right back up. It looks like this dude is tough as nails. And from a talent standpoint, I think this dude actually can be a good NFL quarterback. I was very surprised and very pleased with how well Davis Mills played against this elite Panthers defense. And you know what? Brandon Cooks is going to be the main benefactor of Davis Mills being a good quarterback and being a competent replacement for Tyrod Taylor. So here's what's going to happen going forward. Brandon Cooks is a high-end wide receiver too. Okay, he's had 2 100-yard games in his first 3 games. This is very impressive. He's getting a massive amount of targets, and he's found the end zone. So he's got a touchdown on the young season and 2 100-yard games. He has had double-digit fantasy points in standard leagues in every single game he's played so far. So Brandon Cooks is going to be more relevant this year than he's been in a very long time, and he is going to quite possibly have the best fantasy football season that he's ever had. So if you have Brandon Cooks, good for you. This dude is a high-end wide receiver too that you should definitely be excited about. And here's what the point that I want to hammer home is: Brandon Cooks is never going to be on your bench from now on. This is a must-start wide receiver going forward here in fantasy football. All right, guys, that's all I really had for the game. I just wanted to do a quick recap because there was a lot of fantasy-relevant things that happened in this game. Make sure to scoop Chuba Hubbard if you can. Try to get Sam Darnold off of the waiver wire. If you have Brandon Cooks, you should be excited because this dude's going to be a stud this year. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I'm going to get at you a couple more times before Sunday with some more fantasy news and analysis. And we're going to get our best teams on the field Sunday so we can get that win in week 3. It's a pivotal week. Let's get a win this week, guys. All right, I will catch you later.